Alright guys, welcome back to the garage, and hopefully this is the last video for a while anyway on this YFZ. So I got the new solenoid in, and I just want to show you guys something real quick. You got to be careful when you order these because different years use a different solenoid, and I'll show you what I mean. This is the one that I took off the bike, and if you look, you can see that on this one it's a little easier to see. You got B is for battery, M is for motor, which is starter. And on this one here, M and B, they're reversed. And you can see that the connection going to the fuse is on that side, and it's on this side, so they're opposite. So this solenoid will not work on that bike. And this is the one that came on the bike. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why the wire harness was all cut up, because somebody was trying to make this one work, or the previous owner tried to make this one work, and he actually did make it work, but unfortunately he hacked up the wire harness to the point where I needed to replace it. And as I'll show you here, because there's stuff like this all over the harness, like what is that? Like, I mean, what is this? And it was just electrical tape holding it on. I mean, again, stuff like this, no good. So what I'm going to do is, this is positive wire from the battery to the solenoid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have this old wire in my bin, and I'm going to just, it's a little bit loose right here, so I'm going to solder that up, build that all up with solder, shrink wrap it, and then I'm going to attach it to this side here, and that'll be my positive lead from the battery to the solenoid. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. Here's one I had in my parts bin I put on there. It worked, but the solenoid itself is gone. You can see the bottom is actually missing off of it. So this one's no good either, but I hung on to it. I don't know why. I'll probably throw it away this time. But anyway, that's the difference between the two. And different years use a different solenoid. So be very careful when you order them. I just wanted to point that out. I soldered it, shrink wrapped it. There's a big solder wad in the middle there. It's never coming apart. Shrink wrapped it. And then I put some solder in this end too and shrink wrapped it. So that's a good positive wire going from the battery to the solenoid. We should have no issues with that. All right, guys. Man, it's been a long day so far. I didn't record any of this because chasing wires is really boring, and I've been chasing the wires on this bike for about 3 hours now, and I found out that all the safeties on this bike work except for the neutral safety down here. For some reason, it's not working. The switch up here on the clutch, though, this one does work. When you pull it in, it will engage the solenoid. Problem is that I had another issue all in itself, and let me show you what it is. And it took me freaking 4 hours to find it. This solenoid right here is no good. This is the start relay solenoid. So let me explain to you what that is. So you have the starter solenoid, which is here. This fires the starter. This solenoid, which, or I should say this relay, is the one that engages the safeties. So the safeties go on one side, and when they create a solid ground, they allow the power to flow through this in order for your switch, your handlebar switch, to trigger the solenoid. So you can't get 12 volts to your solenoid for your trigger switch unless this relay works, because your safeties go through this in order to allow power to go to that. I hope I'm not confusing anybody, but this solenoid here doesn't work. And I think that's the reason why somebody chopped this old wire harness up and jerry-rigged it and had everything all tied together and spliced together, because they were trying to, essentially they were bypassing this. And instead what they did was they went and they bypassed every single safety on the machine. And then that didn't work, so what they did was they ran a hot wire. What they did was they took the side of the solenoid socket that's supposed to be 12 volts, they just jumped it to 12 volts on the battery and called it a day. But the damage had already been done. They had already cut everything up. So all you have to do really is just jump this. These two wires right here trigger the relay, which is in my hand. These two trigger the relay to send 12 volts to the starter solenoid. And I've just jumped it with a small wire until I pick one of these up. And if you can see right now, everything works. And if I kill the switch here, nothing. See? So everything works. All the relays work, all the shut-offs work, all the ons and offs work, everything works. The whole problem with this wire harness to begin with was this relay, and because, you know, you had your backyard mechanic or someone who doesn't know anything about electrical work, well, actually all you have to do really is just download the schematic, and you can follow the wires, and they'll tell you exactly what things work and what things don't, and then you just use, I just used a regular test light. That's all I used. Test light. Nothing fancy. But it did take me 3 to 4 hours, so it's always that. Anyway, I got this all figured out. I think what I'm going to do next is I can now put the back plastics on, and I can route all these wires and everything permanently because I know they're right. And I can just, this is just plug and play later. I can just pull the seat off and plug this in later and take my jumper out of there. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do it off camera. All right, guys, I ran the motor for a while. I did it off camera. I put my test light, which you see right here, down inside the socket that powers the fan. And the power side kicked on when my test light lit up when the radiator got hot. So that tells me that the sensors in the radiator are working. Well, at least the one that turns on the fan. I don't know about the one for the dummy light. But anyway, so now what I did was I went to the old wire harness right there, and I cut one of the sockets off that fit that socket right there, and I soldered it and heat shrinked it. And now I'm just going to push this over it. Anyways, I can't do it with one hand. I'm going to push this over it, throw some electrical tape on there so it doesn't slide off, snake it up and in and plug it in, and the cooling fan should be all set. Alright guys, I bought a brand new set of Scott grips. They're ATV grips. I'm going to use the clear paint method to put them on. Let's slap these on real quick. Let's take a look at them. Look pretty nice. Those will do. Those will do nicely. I want to apologize for not showing everything on this electrical. You know, 3.5, 4 hours of troubleshooting with a test light and a multimeter doesn't make for great video. It's very boring. I'm sure that some of you people out there who have had problems with electrical systems on ATVs would have really liked to have seen me go through all that. But if you guys have any questions at all on anything electrical, shoot me a message, email me at rcbgarage. Actually, it's rcbgarage@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. I have the rear plastics mounted now. They're fully mounted. I have the battery in here. This is not the battery for the bike. It's bigger. It's actually a generator battery. The airbox, I have it at a machine shop right now. I have the nozzle at a machine shop. I'm having it modified now to accept a standard size filter. I found out that somebody had modified the box, put a bigger air filter on it, and it's specific to a certain company, and the air filter is like $90. I'm not spending $90 for an air filter, so I bought a standard size one, which is reusable, sort of like a K&N for like 35 bucks. The problem is it's 5/8 of an inch smaller, and it didn't fit on the flange. So I have the flange being modified right now at a machine shop. It's aluminum. I can't weld aluminum, so they're modifying the flange for me. And when it comes back, I'll put it in. I'll put the filter on. Basically, I can't jet the carb until I have the air cleaner on there. All the electrical's done. I have the dummy lights plugged in. I don't know if they work. Probably not. Bulbs are probably blown out. I know it's not the harness. The harness is brand new. The ignition switch, I had the same situation with this as I did that last YFZ. The switch isn't wired right. So basically what I did was I just jumped the two positives together, because in the off position, you can start the bike. When you turn the key on, the bike shuts off. It's just opposite, which is bizarre because, you know, it's supposed to be plug and play, but it's not. So I just tied the two positives together on one lead, and I tied the two lines together on the other lead, and these two leads are just, I'm not using them. So this is a 2-position key. It should only be a 1-position key. But I just turned it back into a 1-position key. Anyway, it'll work perfectly fine. And I'll show you. So right now the key is off, obviously, because the key comes out. You put the key in. If I turn the key on, kind of hard to do with one hand. Key is now on. So it's all wired up right now. Again, the plastics are on. I don't need to take them back off. They're on for good. The rear plastics anyways. I could essentially put the front plastics on. I don't really think I need to do anything else. The tank is on. I did get a brand new tank mount for this, which I'm going to swap out in a minute. I'll show you that. I think that's pretty much it. The carburetor is all hooked up. I got the side cover on it. It's plugged in. Everything's in. Oh, I put this on. As you can see here, this looks like it's been polished. It's not really. I just wire wheeled it, and it looks pretty good. Actually, I wire wheeled it, and I think I hit on the buffer wheel. I'm not sure. And I put new hardware in, so that's back on. That looks pretty nice. I have the brake light sensor back on. Again, it should work. I got it plugged into the harness. So everything is in. Everything looks good. Like I said before, I didn't go through it, but I took my test light and I put my test light on the plug coming out of the harness for the fan, and I let the motor run and run and run and run and run, and then eventually the test light lit up, saying, you know, because the harness was the sensor on the radiator was triggering for the fan to come on. So now I know that the harness part works, the sensor the sensor works, the plug works, the harness works. So then again, I cut a piece off the old harness and I soldered it in, got it all going. The fan's running in the right direction, the whole 9 yards. So we're good to go there. Everything is in. The bypasses are on. Both bypasses are in. There's a bypass up here for the Tours as well. So the Tours is completely bypassed right now, which is good. I think that's it, really. Yeah, it's dripping a little bit of gas here. I think the O-ring might need to be replaced on the carburetor, but I'm gonna need the jet anyway. So I think I might just throw the plastics on this now and maybe take it for a ride. Well, what else do I have to do? I need to put the, oh, I know what I gotta do. I gotta tighten the sprocket. I didn't tighten the sprocket yet. This is still loose. I need to tighten that with the impact gun, and I need to put the chain, the case saver on. So, and I need to put the shift lever on. So I'm gonna do those now. All right, the shift is on and the case saver is on. I put new hardware in that as well. And this is, I forget who makes this, but this is a molded one. This is the best one you can buy. I kind of lucked out. It came on one of the engines that I got with that trade, and I hung on to it for this bike. These are not cheap either. I think these are like 50 bucks, something like that. So I'll show you guys a little trick I got here. These are just regular fender washers that you buy at Home Depot. Let me show you what they are here. They're just regular, you know, 1/8 center, 1/8 hole by 1 inch diameter. And then I just take a drill and I just drill out the middle so that they fit the 6mm bolt. Plastics are all on. I think it looks pretty good. They're really dirty. They need to be cleaned, but I think they look fantastic. This bike really is coming out nice. I still got a lot of stuff to do. I still have the nets to put in. I still have some wiring to do. The lights still don't work. I don't know if it's bulbs. I don't know. But I think what I'm gonna do is I just wanna get this thing to the point where we can ride it. Lights really don't matter. So I'll probably do a standalone video later on how to troubleshoot the lighting systems on one of these, which would be brake lights and headlights and tail lights and all that. I'll do that in a later date. But for now, I'm not gonna do that in this video series. They give you guys something to look forward to, I guess. So I told you guys I would show you what the washers look like, and that's what they look like once they're in there. And they cover up the big hole that's in there if you don't have the factory hardware anymore. And they really do a nice job. There's another one down there that you can see it. They, like I said, they take up a lot of space. They cover a lot of area, and they really hold nice. Just a little trick, and it's short money too. Those washers don't cost a lot of money. And as you can see, also, I replaced all the hardware with stainless steel socket heads. Same as up here too. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I have a crash bar on the front. And this crash bar came off my KFX over there. It was the one that was on there originally. I didn't like the way it looked, so I took it off and put put this Alba Racing one on there, as you can see there. Now I actually have one exactly like this that I bought off the guy I got the skid plates from. The only problem is that it didn't fit at all, and it would have took a ton of modification. This one here, I already fit the bottom. As you guys can see, it already fit the bottom, so that's one less modification I have to do. The top didn't fit though. And as you can see here, I hacksawed off the two arms. There and there. Let me give you a better look. Maybe I come down in here. I hacksawed the two arms off. And there's the other one. And the way these arms went were, they ended up going down like this. And I cut them off. I figured out the angle that I needed in order for these to meet up with that. I think it was 25 degrees is what I figured it at. So I sawed these off, and what I had to do is I had to flip them to get them to go from this angle up to this angle. So I had to flip them, but I also had to swap them. So this one over here used to be over here and vice versa. That was the only way I could get these angles back, but it worked out perfectly. So what I have to do now is I just basically have to get my flapper disc out and just gently massage these things until they fit perfect enough where I can have it welded in. Again, I can't weld aluminum, so I have to have somebody do this for me. But I'm going to do that now, and I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like when it's done. I got it all cleaned up, as you can see. I took all the paint off to just make it easier to weld. That's pretty much it. And again, that's making stuff work. And that'll be perfectly fine. Alright, that's got to go off to the welder. I think next what we're going to do is fix this right here. Alright, so let me put this bike out into the middle of the garage where I have more room to work. Alright, so I'll show you my idea here. And my idea here is to basically cover this area right here with a piece of aluminum, thin piece of aluminum that I can bend to get this shape. And then I'm going to put some carbon fiber on it, because the carbon fiber honestly looks exactly like the seat. This seat looks like carbon fiber. So I'm going to put a piece of carbon fiber on the aluminum, then I'm going to pop rivet it, and it should support this and actually make it look a little better than it did before. So what I did was I made a template, and basically I just took a piece of, this is just a piece of paper I got in the mail. I put it on one side, kind of got a center line here, drew it out, but first I folded the paper, put it on here, drew it out, and then cut out the shape. Now when you open the paper up, you have a symmetrical form, and that's pretty much what I wanted it to look like. Cover the whole back, rivet it in probably three spots, and it would hold it. It's going to hold it really nice. So then I take this, transfer it to a piece of aluminum, and I end up with this. As you can see here, that's my template. And this is just sheet aluminum, nothing fancy. And this is going to go on here like that. But first I have to bend it and shape it to get it to fit. Alright, so here it is. You can see I've got quite a bit of shape to it now. All these hammer dimples are because I don't really have, I'm just using regular ball peen, and the end of it's really mauled up. I'm going to hit this with some sandpaper to smooth it out, and once I put the wrap on there, you're not going to see it anyway. So that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do at this point now is I'm going to clamp this on here, and we're going to drill the holes. Alright, I got it clamped on there. That's what it looks like. Doesn't look too bad. I think that'll do. Alright guys, here it is. It's not perfect. If I'm going to do bodywork and stuff, I should probably get a better set of hammers and dollies, but it's pretty good for now. You can see all the dimples on the back. Alright, so it's all on there now. I think what I got to do now is poke these holes through. So I want to go through the top to not to wreck it, damage it, and that's a hole right there. I just want to poke the hole. I don't want to cut it. She's done. Don't look bad. We'll take that. Alright guys, you can see I rearranged the garage a little bit. I don't usually put myself on camera, but I figured I'd start mixing it up a little bit. I arranged the garage to make it a little more easy for me to walk around. I can actually walk all the way around this now, all the way to the back side to work. I have more room for camera angles and stuff, and I just think it's just going to look better overall. I don't know if you guys see my new garage banner. I think it's pretty cool. I ordered some hats as well. I'll show you guys those later. I might put them up for sale. I don't know yet. We'll see. They're kind of pricey for me to buy. So we'll see what happens with that. I guess what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start getting to work on this. I got a few things done. Let me grab you guys and show you something here. So this has been sitting here for a few days, and you can see down there, that's oil. And you can see the oil all inside the skid plate. Well, the stator cover's leaking, so I gotta pull that off and replace the gasket. Okay, let's check out the airbox. So basically what we had here is we had this flange, and it was through here, and it came into the airbox probably about another 3/4 of an inch to an inch, and then the filter was supposed to slide over that. Well, the problem is that this is made by a company, an aftermarket company, and they're the only ones that sell the air filter. So as you would guess, they charge a fortune for the air filter. It's like $100 or something like that for the air filter. I tried to buy one on eBay, and I wasn't paying that for the air filter. So I bought this air filter, which is a, I don't know what it's called here. The ZZ Performance, which doesn't seem that bad, which is a reusable filter. So the problem was that, as you can see, the filter went inside of it. No good, you can't clamp on it. So what I had to do is I had to make a modification, because this filter was $40, and I'd rather pay $40 for a filter, even though they're reusable. I guess I'm cheap, I don't know. And I like the fact that this is a 4-inch diameter opening, and the other one is a 4 5/8, some weird size. So I like the idea of making the airbox standard size, so you can just replace this pretty simple. So what happened was, took this in the machine shop, chucked it up in a vise, chucked it up in a lathe, and the piece that was extending out, I just turned it down until we got to this point here. And then I had the guys in the shop make me this up on a water jet. So they cut this piece out on a water jet, and then they had a piece of aluminum pipe, and then I had them TIG welded in. So now we'll bolt this, we'll sandwich this on the airbox, and then we can put the air filter onto this and put a clamp on it, and we're good to go. So let's do that now. I'll just show you how this looks now. I'll tighten these up off camera, and then this should just slide right on, just like that. And we got pretty nicely modified airbox. All right, let me finish tightening all this up. I'll put the clamp on, clamp it down, and then we'll throw it in the bike. All right, the airbox is in. I got it bolted down with brand new hardware. Not going anywhere. The air filter's in. It's clamped. It's clamped here. We're good to go. All right, one thing I did get in the mail. I received the solenoid for right here that I'm jumping. So let's plug the new solenoid in there. I shouldn't say solenoid. I'm sorry. It's a relay. We'll plug the new relay in here and see if this thing will start. All right. So this is the starter relay. You guys can see that. That's the part number. Day or not next day, but it came quick. So basically, all you got to do is just plug this thing in. That's it. I'm gonna hang on to that jumper wire. All right, let's hook 12 volts up and see what happens. Let me show you guys that real quick. This is the noise I didn't hear before. Now listen real close. You'll hear it when I pull in the clutch. Hear that? That's clicking the safety off, which should allow the starter to start now without that jump wire. Let's see. All right, As you can see, the battery's up top here. Let's see what it does now. She's running lean. I'm gonna have to pull the carb. I'm gonna have to go bigger on the main jet, maybe on the idle jet as well. Because if I pull the choke on, she don't pop no more, which I'll show you. And the choke is an enrichment circuit, which is giving it more fuel. I need to richen up that carb a little bit. Alright guys, I told you I wasn't going to show you this, but I have to show you this. Look at this screw. Look at the amount of gasket maker on the end of that screw. That's one. There's another one. And let me get some light on this, because you're not going to believe this. You got the gasket maker in there. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, I guess I'm glad I'm pulling this off. Alright, let me pull it off and see what else we got behind it. Alright, look at this. Isn't this a peach? They have gasket maker and the old gasket still on there. Look at this mess. You gotta be shitting me. Some people just should leave things alone if they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, really. And this is busted here. That pin is broken, but I suppose it still lines up. Let's see if I have one in my parts bin. This is the mess that I scraped out of there. That's old gasket and gasket maker. What a disaster. As you can see, I have it cleaned up really nice. Stoned it. I had to use a little stone because of the area I had to work with. I got this all cleaned up nice, as you can see. And what I did notice though is, let me put this light up a little bit. It's busted right there. You guys can see that. It's broken off right there. Alright guys, let me just show you real quick. So this is the pin that I took out of this. And man, is it mangled. I don't know how this thing was even sealing. So I have another pin, and I grabbed that out of one of the parts engines I have downstairs. Alright guys, just wanted to show you this real quick. So this is the hole that the alignment pin goes in. Let me try to get you a little bit closer so it's not blurry. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of beamed over a little bit, and I can't get the new pin in. So I'm going to take this rat tail file and I'm going to clean up this edge right here so I can get the alignment pin to slide in. Side cover's all on. I put probably a half a quart of oil in here. I'll run it and then I'll check the dipstick up here, and that's how I'll regulate the oil level. So everything's back on. I got the chain protector back on, case saver back on. Everything's back in. All right, so I picked up a brand new battery today at the cycle shop when I went down to register it, and they are not cheap. All right, guys, I noticed another thing here. If you look right here, when I shift up, it is hitting the case saver. A little shift, but not right away. So I'm going to take this off and I'm just going to trim that off. All right, I nipped it off right there. You know, this happens. It's an aftermarket shifter and an aftermarket case saver. And this case saver was made to work with the factory shifter, and this shifter was made to work with the factory case protector. So unfortunately, when you start getting into multiple aftermarket parts, sometimes they interfere with each other. But if you look here now, you can see that it's just a tiny bit of room in there now. It's not hitting anymore. Now it shifts freely, and we're in good shape. All right, the new battery is in, fully charged. Let me throw you in a stand and see if, oh, I jetted the carb also. I went up to a 180 jet. It had a 160 in it, and I went up to a 180. Typically you should go one at a time. It was bogging pretty bad, so I think that should take care of it. Considering it's got a full exhaust on it and an open air box, as you can see, I think that the 180 should do it. Alright guys, bike's all done. Just took it for a couple of rides. The wife took it for a ride. She loves it. She wants it, so probably going to keep it for her. The thing definitely rips. It's pretty fast 450. Dare I say it might be faster than my KFX? I don't know. But it certainly looks incredible. Came out really nice. I think the orange Nerf bonnets look really good. I shined the plastic up a little bit. I didn't recondition the plastic. I think it looks good. One of the things I have to do is I still got to get this welded. I haven't got around to getting this welded yet. A buddy of mine's going to do it for me. But that's pretty much it. Nothing else needs to be done to it. I got it jetted perfectly. It flies. It absolutely streams. I'll fire it up for you real quick. Oh, hold on, I gotta pull the clutch in with safety. Fan works. I ran it long enough to get the fan to work. That's pretty much it. She's done. She's finished. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And just in general, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned. We got more stuff coming. I got that dirt bike video coming out next after this one. And I'm going out west. And I'm going to do some sand dune riding. And I'll do some video on that, and I got a 450 that I'm going to work on before I go to the dunes. We're going to slap paddle ties on it and everything. It'll be a pretty cool video. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.